welcome to my channel. Those who know me know I'm Rachel, and it's the Irish Beauty Blog, 40 plus. I put 40 plus, but really it goes across all ages, races, genders, genres, whatever. So, but generally speaking, it was because I'm over 40 and I was concerned with my age and my skin condition, which has dramatically improved. And I've done a few videos, so please do check those videos out. Today is a bit of a departure, excuse me. I'm going to do a makeup tutorial. So I've never done a makeup tutorial before, so please bear with me on this one, okay? So usually when I sit and do my makeup, I sit here at my chair out the window. You'll have to excuse my bedroom in the background. I am spring cleaning and I'm throwing out stuff that does no longer fit me. And that's best gone at this stage and recycled. How I do my makeup, first things first, is my makeup is here. It is protected from the sun, but it is on a windowsill, but it's on a north-facing windowsill, and it's kind of kept in containers, and there is little sheets I keep at the back of it and stuff, little books that I put, you know, magazines that I put behind, so it doesn't, no sunlight gets in. That's the most important thing, okay? This window never reaches a high temperature, never goes above about 25 degrees. It's perfect, okay? So that's the first thing. Storage correctly in the right places. I'm very lucky. This is where it is, and I get a nice light that's not too bright. It's just very nice black daylight. So I've cleansed and moisturised my skin. As you can see, I'm set to go, and because I've still got my my band on from washing, I'm going to leave that on. Now, the first thing I do when I do my makeup is I put a little pore filler along my nose, because my nose, I don't know whether you probably wouldn't be able to pick it up on this, has not huge pores, but has pores that I kind of find is a bit, I don't know, I just don't like them. And if I go out during the day, I sweat and they kind of get a little larger. So particularly with the weather we've been having today, is absolutely fabulous. So what I'm going to say to you is, this is a simple everyday look. I don't tend to wear a huge amount of makeup. I wear a lot of things, but I wear very little of them. I kind of fell to the school, the French school of makeup there about maybe 10, 15 years ago, where I just started going, I think less is more. And I'm a more is more girl, like I said, but I just find with makeup, less is more. And as I get older, I find less is definitely more, okay? But I do like a little pore filler. So this is what I would do. This is the makeup I would do. I just put it on my nose. There, that's it. That's the only place I really have a problem with pores. I find this is, I'm only using tiny pieces. I'll show you. This is the makeup. There you go. Teeny tiny pieces. Just to cover the pores in the nose, okay? And rub off any excess on the chin, okay? I do this kind of makeup if I'm going for a coffee with somebody, or going shopping with friends, or, you know, if I'm going to Kildare Village to go spend an atrocious amount of money. Guilty. Not anymore. That's the kind of thing. This is the reason. This is just day makeup for going out to have a coffee, going out to meet some friends, going for a drive, Sunday lunch with a girlfriend, that kind of thing. It's not date makeup. It's not going out makeup. Okay? We'll do that in another video. So, with that in mind, I have that done. So that while that sets in, I use, and I should point out, actually, sorry, that is NYX pore filler I use. So it's just NYX pore filler. Okay? I find NYX and Inglot are the two I go together with very well. So Inglot, there it is. And the shade is, if I can read the back, no I can't. It's the Inglot, and I go for 96 is my shade. So it's a kind of a shade lighter than my skin. I have skin that tans very easily. It doesn't tend to burn. My nose goes red and my forehead goes red. But still, it's still skin damage. I've put so little on you can barely see it, okay? I just close in. I just want it in here because that's where my dark circles are, is in the middle. And more times than not, I just wipe off the excess around the edge of the tube. We will speed this up because this is going to be arduous otherwise. And I just make sure that everything is covered in there. I don't really have a problem, thank God, too much with under eye bags. And I don't do those big triangles. I am 49, not 19. So I'm not going to be doing that to my skin, you know. I think the idea of makeup should be as natural as possible, and yet still, you see, I want to see your skin and your glow, your natural glow. So, and I like to keep my, that's my glow, and I like to keep my glow. So, excuse me. So I don't want to pan it down with lots of makeup. It's just not how I do things. I have my palette. I've shown you these or spoke about these before. These are 150 in pennies. Brilliant. Primark if you're in England, but pennies if we're in Ireland. They sit across your hand and you can mix all sorts. I've one for mixing nighttime skincare, one's for mixing daytime skincare, and one for mixing makeup. Okay? I use, and it's nearly gone. Thank God we're sort of on lockdown because I don't get to use this too much now. But I use the Inglot. It is LW400 is the one I'm using, okay, for my skin tone. Again, while I look very bright on here, if you put me next to somebody else, I do have a very sallow skin tone. So you can tell by the yellow of my hands and my green veins. So I take a pump of this. I don't wear a whole heap of this during the day because I really don't want to lose what I've been working really hard on, which is my skin. So I want to protect it. I have sunscreen on. So I have a very light formula from La Roche-Posay that I put on first, and then I put my moisturiser over it. My hyaluronic acid, then I put my sunscreen on, and then I put my moisturiser on. Or you can do the moisturiser and the sunscreen, whichever you like, okay? I use one pump. That's it. That's a lot, you know. So it is a lot on there. That's the pump. And then another lovely product, I absolutely love this, is Born to Glow. Because I don't like that matte makeup. And I know I do see a lot of the younger ladies wearing, and it's fantastic on them because they're young, you know. But for us ladies of a certain age, we need to be a little bit more aware of keeping a natural glow. And it also makes the makeup, I think it actually gives an even better consistency to the makeup than it already has. So this was the Liquid Illuminator. I can't find a shade on this for love nor money. But I think it's, yes, it's L102 Gleam. Right, so L102 Gleam. I know the colour of the package. I just know it because the product is the same colour as the package. So I know it and I just pick it up. So, but it is L102 Gleam. Right, I can't remember anything. I can remember colours. It comes from my years as an interior designer. Way back when. That's all I put in. It probably is a lot to some people. To me, I like it. I like it. I also then have a little mixing tool. Where's my little mixing tool? Oh, there he is. And I just mix it, which is an old brush, believe it or not, and I just mix it in together. That's it. I just use an old brush that I don't really use anymore, that I don't really like. That's it. Okay? So the excess on the brush, I just wipe where I have my rosacea. Okay? So I'm looking at the camera, and I'm going to be looking at a mirror as well, just to make sure I'm doing this right for you. And I put the little bits left on my chin as well, because my chin does need good coverage. That's it, just so it's not wasted, okay? And it has its own little container I pop it into. Excuse me, my asthma as always. Do excuse the fact that my brushes are not clean at the moment. I do apologise. It's just I haven't washed them in about a week, and I've been doing lots of trialling different looks on my face. Not for this video, just for the fun, because I'm bored. I can't remember where I got this brush. It's a 102 foundation brush. I think I actually got it from a shop in Nice, I think. But it's an angled. You'll see it there. Kind of better seeing it there. So I like it because I can put it on both sides, and I just gently swish. Now there's a lot of people out there who would do their eye makeup first. How I do it is a bit of a trick I've learned with my skin, because my skin is certainly much drier than it was, but it's not extremely dry skin. So while I put this on, I'll tell you what the trick is, okay? Okay, so that part is done. There is a lot left still on there. And the reason being is I do my foundation sort of 2 stages for going out. This, believe it or not, only takes, this video will probably be about 30 minutes. I'm so quick at this now, it takes me about 15 minutes to do in the mornings. So then at that stage you're saying, girl, why didn't you use some primer on your eyes and stuff like that? Why are you just diving in and putting this on and you know, not bring... I do prime my eyes. My foundation on my face, I haven't actually touched here with foundation yet or anything. I find what works best is, again, the NYX Proof It. So I like that one. And because of my droopy lids, which a lot of us ladies have, I tend to bring it up onto the lid a little bit as well. So it primes the lid, because there's no point in just priming here with a heavy lid. It will actually droop and sit on top of your makeup, and you'll get creases up here as well. So I prime the lid, okay? I do that. Also, a little trick I learned is I prime my lips. For that, I just take a little piece and prime the lips. This is, do it once. This would be my work makeup. It would take me 15 to 20 minutes. And when I was working in construction and interior design, sometimes I would be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I would have my shower makeup done by 5:30, 25 to 6, and I'd be at the door, ready to go to site. So it is quick, it's just slower because I'm talking, I'm doing too much. So, next thing then, is that's all set in. I have a little trick. It's my Cape Pride fan, as you can see. We got it at the Pride Festival a few years back. Pride March, because obviously we're a very LGBT friendly house. My son is gay, so we are very proud of it. Very proud of it. We're very gay proud. So I kind of do my, oh, Miss Annie, surely you don't mean that. I'm advertising there, can't I? Anyway, I do that to dry the primer and to dry the first layer of foundation. Now, it's not a heavy layer. I don't go crazy mad. That big pump is nearly too much at this stage, okay? So that's that dry. I make sure that's dry, nice and dry. Then I go and get my colours. So at the moment, I have been using NYX. I also have a J.Lo that I do use, but I'm finding that's better for winter because that's me rooting for my makeup. It's the Jennifer Lopez Inglot. The container is called the Jennifer Lopez, and she has done some colours with them. But basically these, I love these because they're just magnetic. So they basically, you slide your makeup open. It's fantastic. That comes off, it goes back on again. These are magnetic as well, so you can actually remove these and put whatever colours you like. So basically how Inglot works is it's kind of revolutionary in that way, that it sells these big containers, mid-sized containers, small containers, little containers like this, and then you'll see another container I'm going to use in a few moments as well. So they sell different size, and you can put what you like in there, right? Whatever fits. All the products designed that like a blush would equal 2 of these in length, so they can all fit. It's like Tetris, they can all fit in very well together. I'm not using that at the moment just because I feel they're highly pigmented, really highly pigmented. So I kind of keep it for winter or going out at night. That's a great one. So what I'm going to use for the purpose of this daytime look is the one I usually go to. My go-to is my NYX Ultimate palette, which is a great palette. You can see a lot of browns, neutrals, naturals going on there because I'm a lady of a certain age and I don't really want to be sticking the latest trendy purple eyeshadow all over me. My daughter does that and she does it amazingly and it's really fantastic. Suits her look. It's not going to look great on me. I can do it with the lipstick or a little hint of an eyeliner or something, and we'll go into that in more videos. But for now, this is this one. So really, I have my favourite little brush. I love it. And I take, the first one is this colour here. It's like a gold, right? It's gold. As I said, this isn't a going out, so I'm not putting a base colour on. This is a slap on the face, get out to work, or go have a coffee kind of day. So, it gets in there very quick. So that's it. That's one eye, two eye. Okay. To the edge. Now, I will say, you'll probably see me going to the edge right into my eyelashes because my lids themselves are quite thick. I can actually tight line by just going along. I know people find tight lining very difficult because they're trying to hold their lashes down and tight line. above their lashes, so they end up going underneath instead. I don't. I have quite a thick lid, hence the droop. So it's fine for me. So I do that there, and I just work it into my crease a little bit, okay? So work it into the crease a little bit. End of story. Sometimes I like a little dab in here if I haven't gone in enough. Just check it in my mirror. Hasn't done this eye enough. So there we go. I put it in here because it kind of brightens the inner eye. Okay? So that's the first colour. Second brush I use is this one. I love it. This is, again, it's a brush. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think these might be Penny's brushes as well. I'm not mistaken. I can't remember where I got them, but it's just this kind of blender brush, regular blender brush. Okay, I believe I do have a new blender brush somewhere. I've spotted it now. It's okay. It's over there, which is a really nice brush. So I usually vary between this shade and this shade. So I tend to start with this and work up to this, if this makes sense. And so I'll start with the slightly darker shade. And one thing I always have beside me while I'm doing my makeup is a towel or the radiator, because I sit at my window, like I said, the towel there. It's an old towel. This is a towel that nobody wants anymore, covered in hair dye and all sorts that nobody, it's quite disgusting to look at. But it's clean, washed, and I can bang brushes off, rub brushes off on it, rub mistakes off my face, whatever. I can do an awful lot of wipe my hands if something's got greasy on my hands or whatever. So it's a really handy tip to keep old towels and really get a good use out of them, because we want to protect the environment as well. So as I said, I have droopy eyelids, in case you hadn't noticed. So I don't sit there and do that, because I think that's a very big mistake, because that's not how you don't do that, walk around your eyes like that all day. So I just tend to sit, close my eyes and get a natural fall, this is my natural fall, which I am delighted about, because I am starting to see more lid than I had before the creams I'm using lately. So I kind of fake a crease a little higher than my natural crease, which is down here. So once I have that, I do that here. I don't go very far out here, because I want to avoid this area as much as possible and keep it almost at an angle like that, because you can see how droopy this is. This really should be here a little bit, you know. It's only minute, but it should be up. It will be by the time I'm finished with it. So I continue that. That's my new crease, okay? So you can see already that has made the eye look a little bit brighter, okay? So I feather it out a little bit up to there, and I do the same on the other eye. Okay, so that's that one done. This is where it comes in handy, because this is a dark colour. And I said, this is my daytime thing I just throw on. I'm used to it. I whack it, because you'll see why in a minute, why I just whack it. I'm not too fussy about it. I don't go crazy mental about it. As you can see it there now, it has produced a sort of raise of the brow area, that god-awful eyelid, droopy eyelid. The towel, I then clean off the brush a little bit on the towel. That's what I do. I just wipe it off and I get it ready for the lighter shade over here. The lighter shade is where I go in, because this looks a bit unfinished, and I come in over that and I bring it gently, and it's used as sort of a blending and finishing colour up the top. I don't tend to use a light colour here, because I really don't want to accentuate this. As you can see from the light, that it's already accentuating itself. I don't really need to give it any help. So you have to go with a colour that will recede it as much as you can, okay? Now, this look you can apply as much or as little as you want it, okay? So we'll just continue finishing this off. I also keep it, as you'll notice, I always keep it here between this angle, because I don't really want to bring my eyes down any more than they already are. If I was to come out here, or I was to do cat wings, I'd be accentuating this drop that's happening, because I'm old. I'm a lady of a certain age. I'm very privileged to be a lady of a certain age, because my own mother passed away at 45, so I'm kind of grateful for every year I get. So that's it. I don't tend to do too much more. You know, if I really want to go exotic and I'm going for lunch with the girls and I know we're all going to be dressed up, yes, I'll bring a nice little bit of shading in here and in here. This is an everyday look. This is bog standard everyday look, okay? This is me in a hurry. out the door in 15 minutes, please. Okay, so that's that. Now I have to do my brows. Okay, so I do my brows with, it's again Inglot. So it's the little Inglot pot, and this is like a dark brown I use because my hair colour is now dark brown. When I had my hair red, bright red, I used a much lighter shade. This shade is 17. Okay, so it's a tiny little pot, which is really cool. And I use a slanted brush. I'm just going to clean that off a little bit. There's a bit of fluff on it. There we go. So you can see it's kind of a slanted blush brush. And it's designed for the eyebrows. So let's get to the eyebrows very quickly. So I go slightly above the actual line. Oh, I made a mistake. I'm not going to panic. No, I haven't actually. So slightly above is how I go, because my eyebrows were done when the fashion was thin. I had them tattooed because I have tiny light blonde that just doesn't really show up, you know, so you can't really see my eyebrows. So I take the tip usually then, so I take the high-end tip then to feather in here, because I hate those solid looking brows. I'm kind of stuck at the moment with more solid than I would like, but till I get till all the beauticians open up again and I can get my brows razored, microbladed, should I say. So one eyebrow in. I go do the second one now. Leaning off camera, sorry, I beg your pardon, but it is hard to do this. I will get more practice at this. Slightly above, as I said again. Everything I do, my brows are so thin, so I go slightly above. And that's my eyebrows done. So, eyebrows are done and ready to go. I don't go too heavy if I can get away with it. I just don't like that high definition heavy brow. I think it's just not me. Go for it, girls. The next thing I use is Lash Accelerator. This is probably considered the only budget product I use, but the Lash Accelerator mascara from Rimmel. I love this. I've been using it for about, gosh, Jesus, 7-8 years, and they changed the packaging once from like a plain yellow to this kind of glitzy, kind of shiny, metallic-y colour, and I freaked out because I thought we couldn't get it anymore. I was like, oh, but we can get it. So now I have that done. What I'm going to do is my eyebrows, or my lashes. I always get these lashes, my eyebrows mixed up. I have a couple of my lash extensions left on, but not too many. There's maybe 3 or 4 in either eye. So my lashes are not as thick as they were. They're not as good looking as they were, courtesy of Magda in the beauty rooms down in Nice. But they are they grow out very well. They don't really. I think I have about 2 left on this one. They grow out very, very well. The Pro Lash that she does. I think it's a combination of the actual product and her application. She's phenomenal. So if you haven't been down to Pro Lash Studios, God, give them a call. They're brilliant. So I tend to lift. You see, and I tend to go on top and twirl to get a coat, a full coat. That helps lift. And then I go and do this. And you've also seen those lovely eyebrows or eyelids of mine smush down and get mascara on them. And I get mascara underneath my eye as well because I go so close. Right, and this is where the tip I gave you earlier on comes in. The corner of that raggedy old towel. Okay? Terrible, isn't it? It's mine, so I'm just a little damp. And that comes off. And I can just go over it with the brush to blend it in again. Okay, so that's where that towel comes in really handy. It's able to take out little mistakes you make. So then what I do is, now that I have all that done, I have to do my lashes under my eyes. Notice I haven't touched what I've done there. I'll show you why. Because my eyelashes are so long, they actually bang off under here and they create a mess every time. I'm not complaining, the only lashes I have that are, I mean, a lot of women would love that, you know, so, but there you go. So I have to do funny things here now. Watch. Funny faces to get the mascara into the eye. I'm focusing here on a mirror off camera, so I'm really, really sorry about this. I do apologise. So, now, 2 sets of eyelashes done. I have to look up and I have to fan. Because my eyelashes are long underneath, so I have to do this to keep them from banging off the cheek underneath till I can dry them. So we speed up this fan. It's going to look great. I should stop advertising there. They haven't paid me. So I have to fan these, I'm sorry. Okay, so that should be them. Fanned and fine. I also always keep a little couple of cotton buds as well here, in case anything does tip off the top when I'm doing that, which it did, just a tiny piece. Gone. Done. Now you'll notice that I probably got a little bit under here because, as I said, they do touch underneath, and I also have no makeup here. I have concealer but I have no makeup. So this is where a little product that is called Duraline comes in so handy. I'm looking for the Duraline box and I must have thrown it out because I wanted to show you the box of Duraline. But anyway, there it is. Excuse me. Sorry about that. The Duraline box. So this is Duraline from Inglot. Brilliant investment. It's €20. It lasts, Jesus, forever. It really lasts forever. Comes in a little pump bottle. This little tincture inside is basically a lubricant. So this is the same stuff that they make the makeup out of. And if your makeup dries out a little bit, you can use this to, like the foundation, if it's getting a bit low and it's getting a bit dry or clumpy, or your mascara, it's fantastic for your mascara. It will actually give them a little bit more longevity. So it'll give you a little bit more out of it. I love them as well. If you pop a little drop of Duraline on your palette, you can actually dip your brush into it and then dip your brush into your eyeshadow, and it'll make it, for nighttime look, we'll go into that. It makes it really pigmented and it's fabulous. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to take the little drop that's on the end and put it on my cotton wool. Just one little push. That's all I'm taking. Just wetting it enough to actually remove the damage underneath from my long but thin eyelashes. That's why I get lash extensions. I get them to thicken them out a bit. So we clean up a little bit under here, okay? So you can see I'm cleaning out the little bits that are a little bit too much. The Duraline is fantastic. It takes it all away. So it's a really great multiple use product. Fantastic little, I think it's about €20. This is about the concealer is about 10. The Born to Glow illuminator is about 10. It's $9.90. Inglot foundation is 12 if you're going to Poland. It's about 20 here in Ireland, 18, 20 euros. Their foundations can go up in price, varying on their foundation, depending on the foundation. I think this is about 15 for the brow. So you can see it's not a huge price point on these things. Now, this is where we go back to the foundation. That foundation is settled in really, really nicely, but I have nothing under here. So this is the reason I go in with it now. I very lightly, I don't take up much product. Look, I've still got loads. And I very lightly, because I don't want to kind of colour in my wrinkles, swipe. This is why I use that pointed middle point brush, see it? So it has a peak in the middle. And I go under there, and I just go in the middle there. And that cleans up anything, any spills from my makeup, and any double spills from my lashes, which are dreadful. So I also then tend to do at this stage, just to take a little bit more off the palette, and I tend to blot it where I have my rosacea. I have a little bit of rosacea. It's just kind of some little blood vessels, that's it, that you can see and make me look a bit pink. It's actually so improved with the A313, and it's even more improved with the Differin that I've been using. So I'm dying to get down to Spain and get some tretinoin and see how quick it improves. And I just dab along here, and that's it. That's my foundation done. Okay, So you'll see I haven't used it all. I kept that there. I hold that there for any mistakes. I always keep a little bit back in case I go, oh, hang on. I've often done this, gone too far, and I just pat it. Wayne Goss told me that trick. Go up here and keep the lift effect on the eyes, okay? The mascara does great for that too. Now we get to somewhere where my palette, my lovely Swarovski Valentine's Special from Inglot. I love this palette. I just loved it. I bought it because they had it in white and black, and I bought it in black because I figured I'm such a dirty woman. In fairness, it's the way the powder works in it. So I went for these 3 shades. I don't have the packaging of these shades, so I can't remember what they are. But you go in, you basically know your own shades or pick your own shades. This is what I would call my contouring colour. Although I don't really tend to contour because I think it can go so horribly wrong. And I don't want to dull my skin in any way because I'm a certain age. I want to keep this nice sheen that's on it, okay? Then this is my blush, which I use to highlight my cheekbones, and then my highlighter, okay? Excuse the nails. We're all in isolation and I've got no beautician. Magda, I miss you so much. This is a really old phase 2 brush I have from years ago. You can see it's worn, battle worn. It's been around the world, this brush. I've had it for years. That's my first one. I love it for what I would call contouring, but it's not in the conventional sense of contouring, right? So I put a fair bit on. I have a natural dip, if you can see here, I have a natural dip on my face. And because of this natural dip, and because I've got a little weight on, because I'm eating rings around myself at this time, I am actually back on my diet today and I have to get back out exercising. I try and disguise this jelly bit here, okay? So I pull it in under here. That gives me in circular motions, and I just pull it along the jawline a little bit, okay? Now, you can see it there. I have to sometimes go to get in because the way my face is shaped, and I go under here because with the gels we lose definition. So I define it, right? So, and then I just bring it down a little bit because we don't want to leave it looking like a line. So I bring it down, and this is where I say to you, you don't need to actually tan, because I'm just checking that, because you can do these things instead and it's much safer for your skin. So I bring it down there so that, as you can see, stops this look. This little droop here, you see it? It sort of stops it appearing as bad, okay? So it takes that side of the face has come in compared to this side of the face. So that's what I do. I stick to a rule of thumb, excuse me, when I do this. This is where having that excess bit of foundation comes in handy. You just dab it in very lightly, okay? And again, I contour underneath, okay? And I bring that contouring down. I bring it onto here as well because of this chin, which is coming up, definitely. I've taken to microneedling it and putting the different in directly after the microneedling, and it is working. It is working. I did it the last 2 weeks in a row. I'm going to leave it till next week to give this week a break, to build some collagen maybe this week, next week, and do it again then and see for 2 weeks in a row and see how it goes. So I bring that down, and I bring it down to here because I have got a lot of sun damage here. So I'm quite dark here. So I just bring it down and it all just blends in seamlessly. Don't forget these little bits sometimes. We forget those and we end up looking so white. So that's it. You can see I bring it down onto the neck just so it blends, okay? Perhaps a little bit more definition is required here. Yep, okay. So that's that. Then for my blush, this is the part where I've now contoured. Sometimes I will say to you that my daughter always says I have a forehead, a high forehead, much like hers, or as we call them, 5 heads. So a little bit there. I almost forgot that. A little bit there. I just it just gives the illusion of the forehead coming down a little bit more than it actually does. And I tend to go into the hairline here a little bit and bring it in and narrow it in a little bit, okay? So it just gives a little bit better balance to the forehead. Remember, anything, my rule of thumb, I'm not a professional makeup artist, I wouldn't want to be, but my rule of thumb is anything I want to feature, I highlight. Anything I want to get rid of, I contour, I darken. So that includes darkening on the lids and lighter on the eyelids, because I need to have more eyelid and less baggy eyelids, droop on my eyebrows there. So, you know, highlight what's good, take away what's bad. I've often seen ladies and they follow these rule of thumbs of highlighting, and they highlight down this nose, and they highlight the chin, and they highlight here, and they highlight here, and highlight here. And they follow these generic basic rules for beautiful young women who are perfect faced. And I'm kind of going, our faces are not the same, and we're older women. I do not want to highlight my forehead. I don't want that shining in a photograph because it's too big. So that's why I go down with the brown to give it a little, just subtly dulled. You can't see it, you wouldn't know I had it on there, but it is. I don't bring it down to here because as we get older you can see this does start to narrow, us ladies. So I don't bring it down to here because I need a little shine on that to puff it out, okay? So anything that stands out that you don't like, take it back, and anything that you haven't got enough of, bring it forward. That's my rule, okay? So what I have a lot of, I do have good cheekbones. I have really nice high cheekbones, so I'll accentuate them and I'll work really, really well with them. As I said, I don't have great lids. There we go, and I'm jowly. So I darken the places I don't want, and I lighten the places I haven't got enough of. I do not lighten my nose. I have, I wouldn't say a massive nose, but I've got quite a substantial. It's a nose, it's not a button nose, so I'm not going to go making it any bigger. If I'm going out at night, yes, I sometimes take a smaller blender brush, this one here. It's an eyeshadow blending brush, it's a smaller one, and I have dipped it in, but that's if I'm going full on face evening, full drag. Otherwise, this is just daytime. Okay, so we've done that. As I said, this is going to be a long video, it's going to look long. We're going to speed it up, but honestly, this, once you get used to doing this and you know it yourself, practice maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 times, and all of a sudden you find, oh, this takes 10, 15 minutes. It does, honestly. I just talk a lot. Too much. So, got a little blush on my brush. And what I do, as I said, I tend to use this as something that accentuates my cheekbones. So I kind of go slightly under the bone with it, just gently, and a little on the apple. Okay, I don't want to look like Rosie and Jim. So from we'll all remember that from our kids' TV show, Rosie and Jim, and they had these bright red cheeks, little puppets, and my cheeks are red enough. So I very gently just swoop that on. Okay, that's it. I don't do anything else there. With that, I keep it simple. And you know, ladies of a certain age know that when you have a hot flash, everything goes red anyway. So then I go back to my highlighter now. Okay, so we've done this, now we're going here. This is the part that is interesting. I do load it up. There is a little bit of a hidden drag queen in me. Not so hidden really. And I go, I want to hear bam on these cheekbones here. You know, I want light to reflect here because I have, you can see, I've quite high cheekbones. So I want to get that high cheekbone, bam, you know, popping, as they say. So I just flick down. That's all I do. I flick down, and I do the same here. I flick down. That's it. Okay, I do not highlight my forehead. I do not highlight my nose. I highlight my chin. Why do I highlight my chin? Well, because I have a small chin and very big jowls. So I want to make them smaller and this bigger, so my face is more in proportion. So highlight what we want. Sometimes, you know, if I'm feeling kind of a bit sassy or whatever, and I'm thinking, I want to do this, I will take a very, very thin brush like this, and I will go into my highlighter. Now, this is where I kind of break my own rule, but I will go in and I will go to the arch. I have to watch this. I'll go to the arch, just under the arch, along the line of the brow, right? I won't go any further than that. That's all I do, okay? So what it tells me is my brow is lifted, okay? That's all I do. Very tiny little brush with a very tiny little amount, and I go along the arch of my brow. That's it. Just if I'm feeling it, and I don't go crazy with it, but if I'm feeling it, it kind of gives me a little hit, okay? So that's that. that's the face. As I said, it honestly does only take 15 minutes for me to do this because I'm doing it so long. Wait, you see the knife video, it's going to be so long. Now I use a shade 26 Inglot. The numbers are always on the bottom of Inglot. Is that the right way up? Oh well, you know, it's on the bottom. So 26 I use. I use these lip creams that they have. They're fantastic. At first they do feel very drying on your lips and you'll kind of go, oh, I don't like this. But once it dries in, it actually settles down and the moisture from your own lips does actually come a little bit, and so it doesn't feel so bad, okay? But initially I will expect you all to go, oh no, it's too dry for me. I like it because the little lines us ladies have all around here, and even some here I'd have here and here, it doesn't bleed. So I like that about it, and I don't have to apply a tremendous amount. In fact, once it's on once right, all I have to do is, like, I can literally blindfolded whack it on my lips, and while I'm sitting in the cafe go and walk out the door. It's fine. So I again tend to go just above the lip. I tend to make everything a little bit above. My brows a little bit bigger and here a little bit bigger. That's why I went just above the crease with the lighter eyeshadow, because the things I want to make bigger, I make fractionally bigger. I'm not talking about huge, I'm talking about millimetre here. So just make them a little bit bigger, and anything that you want to make smaller, do it darker and take it back, to take it lower. So I didn't go all the way up here with the brown and all the way out here with the brown, because I want to make this droop at the side look as small as possible. Okay, so get this on. I do my bottom lip first, you'll see why. I do my bottom lip first because that gives me the natural fall of my lip. I can't go wrong if I do that. That's it, because that's my natural fall, okay? And then it wipes off the excess as well. Takes off the real excess, so I can go fine up here then for this. Just slightly over. There we go. Just slightly over. So now I actually have lips, because I don't have the biggest lips. I have taken to, you'll probably find this weird, I tried microneedling them every week, but unfortunately I'm very prone to cold sores. So they just kept getting cold sores, so I was like, oh, fine, right, okay. So I can't microneedle my lips, unfortunately. So that rules out a hyaluron pen for me, I suppose, as well. But hey, so we have to compromise somewhere. So instead what I've been doing is I've been putting different on them every night. And I honestly thought, like, I'm waiting for this to dry it out, and they're fine. They're perfectly fine. My skin seems to really like the different, really like it. I had, as I said, remember I sprayed my perfume around here in Vilnius, and it aggravated a bit. And then I went and put that Norwegian cream that killed me on my neck, Satan's cream on my neck. But now I can spray perfume and it's fine. So my skin is really settled into the 0.1 different really, really well. Adapalene is the name, but different is the brand name. Okay, so for me, I like the matte look, but because I've got small, thin lips, I need to give them a bit of dimensionality. So I can't keep them flat, because I need to, you know, it's like if you see a flat wrap on a car, it never really accentuates the curves till you see the gloss or the metallic, okay? So I use this one from Inglot. It's a Sleek's cream. It's number 91. That's everything is a colour with them, or is a number, which is much easier for me to remember, because I don't remember, you know, Midnight Sonata and all this kind of cracola. So that's it. They come in like test tubes. They're really cool. They're like, you know, these test tube things. So it's a gloss, it's like a butter, kind of, it's really lovely. And what I do then is I just whack it on. And there it is. And now you see, it gives your lips an instant shine, and the lips start to look more three-dimensional than they have done before. That's it. That's my daily routine. I know it looked an awful lot. It's not, honestly, once you get used to it. I'm pretty slap. I'm not too fussy. I don't like doing too much around here in the eyes because this is where we have wrinkles. So I hope you enjoyed this makeup tutorial. As I said, it's just a day look. It's somewhere I've never ventured to before because I just usually do my makeup. And I've had over the years compliments like, oh God, I love how you do your eye makeup and stuff. And I do change my makeup and I update my makeup look. That is an incredibly important thing. I knew a girl who has the same makeup on her face and she's 40 this year, I think this year, and she has the same makeup she wore at 16. And that freaks me out. And, you know, she's a beautiful woman and she could do so much with that face, but she's not understanding she isn't that age anymore. Things have shifted, things are crinkling, they're not how they used to be. You know, she's not even the same weight. You know, I'm not the same weight I was at 16. So why would I be putting the same action into my face? 16 has a much slimmer face. I'd be looking to kind of, you know, puff it out a little bit. I wouldn't be contouring so hard here, you know, because I had a nice, lovely shaped face. So bear those kind of things in mind, please, please, please. You know, I don't go overboard. Don't go overboard yourself. Anything here I'm doing that you think, oh no, I wouldn't like that, don't do it. But keep it natural. I find it's a much better thing. I often change eyeliner colours. I go from brown to black usually. I have gone for the odd grey steel blue because my eyes are a bluey green. So if you look at them, they're kind of a grey blue and then they can go green as well. So they kind of go between the grey and the green. So I've switched. I've often used a dark purple shadow, you know, but I'd use very limited of it. I'd be very careful with that. We'll have a look at that in the evening makeup and have a little experiment, maybe live on camera. Who knows? Could go dreadfully wrong. That's what I do. I keep it simple, I keep it natural, and I keep it quick. I know it doesn't appear quick in the video. It is quick, trust me. So that's my makeup tutorial. And that's how I do it. And then if my hair was washed, I'd let my hair down, but it's not. So this coronavirus just has me slapping it up and putting masks on it and been really good to it because I'm going to do something crazy for my 50th birthday with it and I want to kind of get it ready condition wise. So I hope you're all safe. I hope you're all well. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you're enjoying the channel, please like, share, subscribe. I have some interesting developments that I'm working on at the moment, some things I'm working on, I'll keep you posted. I'm excited about. So just be safe, be happy, be kind and be good to each other. And remember, be beautiful. Bye.